very public. So some time ago, the people, Westerners and people, they talk about the Tibetan Buddhism as a Lamaism. They always talk about Lama, Guru. Guru and Lama is the same, you know. So Guru. So they call it Lamaism. So actually, Lamaism. So actually, when it comes to Tantrayana, this is kind of Lamaism. Because, this is my personal view, you know, because we cannot separate our Guru from the deity. We have to think all the time. This is my Guru is the deity. When we do the Guru Puja, you remember that you are my Guru. Huh? Yeah, you are my Guru. You are my deity. You are my protector. So like that, you know, we say that. So that is not exaggerating, or it's not a, you know, a nice word that we are telling. It is the fact that we are telling. We have to think. So that is there. But then sometimes people misunderstand, you know. So there's a lot of misunderstanding may arise. That's why the Tantrayana is to be kept in secret, right? That is why it is. Because earlier, there many people, the Koreans, something in Korea, I heard this kind of thing, you know, Koreans or something. The Tantrayana is all to do with the sexual thing. They thought that this is, you know, the appearance sometimes is a very funny appearance, you know, and we don't know the real meaning, and then they think this is like a pornography. So that misunderstanding was there. It happened in the past, and it might happen in the future, who knows. So we must know the real meaning of Tantrayana, and then that also must keep secret. That's why you remember during the initiation you were told you cannot talk about this to the people who are not initiated. That means that people can misunderstand, and then they criticize, and then they can accumulate bad actions, and then that may lead all these people to hell or suffering and so forth. So it will, instead of doing good, it will do bad for them. So it is better not to talk, keep secret. You know? So the supreme field, we were actually discussing about the supreme field. So this is supreme field, because when we talk about Guru, and then all the deities can come in one, all the Buddhas can come in one, all the bodhisattvas come in one. So bodhisattvas, Buddhas, deities, what they want to do, they want to help us. But how to help? Because we cannot see Buddha, we cannot see the deities. So they need a medium. You know, they need a medium. So our Guru is the medium. When the Guru is there, then they get into their Guru and they can help us. So that is the medium through whom the Buddhas can help. So the Buddhas can bless us. So if you make a prostration to your Guru with this kind of thought, then one prostration is countless prostration, because Buddhas are countless, Bodhisattvas are countless. So one prostration can become. So it's a supreme field. The accumulation of merit is very. It becomes very big, huge. I mean, unthinkable, you know. And then that's why it is called supreme field. And then there are other fields like our parents. After that, our parents are very kind to us. Most of the parents are very kind to the children because if our parents didn't take care of us, we wouldn't have been alive now. So this life is given by them. So after that, they are the field of merit. You can respect them, you can serve them. That is, again, through that also you can accumulate merit. So, and then there are other fields, So then helping other people, helping poor people, they are also the field of getting merit. Through that action, you can also get merit. But these are the ordinary field of merit. And the supreme field of merit is our Guru, right? I hope you understand that. So the seven limbs practice, one of the seven limbs practice is requesting your Guru to live forever for your own sake. That is requesting, right? For the sake of all sentient beings. Then also you can think, because you can imagine that while you are praying to your Guru, Guru Tsongkhapa, while you are prostrating to your Guru Tsongkhapa, then you can imagine that all sentient, you are surrounded by all sentient beings. The space is the limit, The space is the filled with sentient beings. And when you are prostrating, you imagine all of them, from right, from left, from front, from back, all are prostrating. You imagine that they all are prostrating to Guru Tsongkhapa. So in that way also, your one prostration becomes countless prostration. So if you know how to accumulate merit, there are so many easy ways to accumulate merit. It is all up here, how you think, how you visualize, how you imagine, and that can be very big. If you think, and then I might have told you earlier also, that we have this, when we don't know which is the spring field, which is the ordinary field, then this question comes in our mind, There one Kinori lady, a very officer in civil service, high officer. And I met her in Bodh Gaya, and then she asked me a question. She said, I have a question. Okay, please, go ahead. So she asked me, so you guys are offering bananas and oranges to the Buddha statue in the main Mahabodhi temple. And the stone statue doesn't eat any food, And then outside the Mahabodhi temple, there are so many beggars, maybe starving, hungry. So if you, instead of offering there, if you give them, give the fruits to the beggars, maybe that would, in that way you collect more merit. So that was her question, right? And very good question, of course. Yeah, very good question. So you have to know the difference. So actually, then some people, by giving to by giving to the beggar, you get merit, absolutely, and these beggars will be also benefiting, no doubt. And on the other hand, we want to be enlightened for the sake of the beggars, faster, so that we can help them in better way. We can take them out of samsara not only this time starvation, not only the poverty that they are facing right now, but forever we want to take them. That is bodhichitta, you know. For that, we must accumulate merit so big, you know. We need a big accumulation of merit. That cannot be get by giving fruits to the beggars. That can get giving offering to the Buddha statue. That's one thing. One reason they could. Sometimes we are not sure, you know, we just some people that even they don't know the real meaning of offering fruits to Buddha statue. So then we copy, you know, if he does that, or we also do that. And sometimes, you know, when we go, we feel, how do you say? We fear that people, if I don't offer to the statue, people might talk my behind, you know, he's not making offering. I mean, so these kind of things, then it doesn't work, you know. That is not accumulation of merit. You don't accumulate merit by offering. But with proper intention, if you get that, that is better than giving to the beggars. You understand the difference? And then, on the other hand, sometimes, even if it is not nice to say, but it is true, because sometimes we try to help some poor people, give money, give food, but they never get, they never can get changed. They always suffer. Because of their karma, they have to suffer. And you cannot change their karma. You don't have the power. Even Buddha doesn't have the power. If Buddha has the power, the Buddhas might have changed our karma. Why we are here suffering? So cannot do. So you have them whatever way you can, but you will not be able to change their lives. That is also a fact. But if you think in the deeper way of Buddhist philosophy, otherwise it sounds not nice. You know, because in today's world, what we are helping people, charitable, real charitable or not, who knows? What is the intention? You don't know. Sometimes people have a lot of black money and charitable to how do you say, to survive from the government court, you know. So we don't know, but I'm not here to criticize, but we have to know, and we have to be aware of all different facts, you know. All different facts that we should be aware. Otherwise, we can be misled by looking and so forth, you know. So one of the 7 limbs practice is here. It normally when we the 7 limbs practice, what are they? You should count them and you must understand it. What are they? Who knows? You don't want to tell me. Prostration first. Prostration is full length prostration, and then putting 5 limbs to the ground prostration. And then also folded hand just to respect, by physically you respect. In any way, even if this is the respect, in your way, that is also prostration. This is the way, that is also, it depends on your intention, you know. So that is procession. And procession to Guru, procession to Buddha, procession to the Bodhisattvas, and procession to your teachers and your elderly and your parents, all these things, the processions, right? And then making offerings, that is practice of generosity, actually, practice of generosity, and then purification will come, purification, compassion. So when we use compassion, then sometimes it mixes up with the Christianity compassion, which is different from our compassion. You confess, but it's a different way, you know. So purification, and then rejoicing, and then making a request to
request to remain until the end.
yes, and also that is one, and then making a request to turn the wheel of Dharma. Yeah. So that means, please teach me. That's it, actually. Please teach me and give me teachings, Dharma teachings. 6. And then dedication and supplication. These two things put together counted 1. So that becomes 7. All right? Now 7 limbs, you have the counting, right? So now we will discuss the meaning. But we don't have that much time now. So the third verse, your mind of the pure genius that spans the whole range of knowledge. Your speech of eloquence, jewel ornament for the fortunate ear, your body of beauty resplendent with the glory of fame. I bow to you, to beneficial to see, hear, and remember. So this is the prostration. This is the prostration. So you're paying respect to the mind of, mind, king of Tsongkhapa. So Tsongkhapa, or the Buddha's mind, that is, it is pervasive to all phenomena, all existent things. So knows and omniscient. In other words, it's omniscient, So I pay respect to that mind. And then your speech is the ornament for the it's like ornament for the ears of the fortunate ones, and then your body is Buddha's body is when you see, if you really see the Buddha's body, then you feel the joy that cannot be explained, and then it is everything is perfect. The ear is perfect, nose is perfect, the gesture is perfect, the measurement is perfect. There's nothing. And there's nothing improper. So to that body you respect, you prostrate. And your body is, if you hear about your body, that is that becomes meaningful. If you see the Buddha's body, that becomes meaningful. If you remember Buddha's body and speech and mind, that becomes meaningful. So the last word says that when you see, hear, remember the body, speech, mind of Buddha, it is meaningful. That means that you accumulated huge amount of merit. That's why it is meaningful. Okay. Then the next one, various delightful offering of flowers, perfume, incense, lights, and pure sweet waters, those actually presented, and these ocean of offering clouds created by my imagination, I offer to you, O supreme field of merit. Now making offering. So in reality, what you have, you can put them as an offering on your altar or on your table. If you don't have altar, your table, some water. If you have water bowls, then water bowls filled with water. Or if you don't have, your mug or glasses can be filled with water, or milk, or tea, or coffee, Americano, espresso, whatever you like, you can offer. There's no problem. And different flowers, and cakes, different cakes, rosapia, whatever. You can make offerings. And then incense, perfumes. So for Buddhas, there's no difference. Because Buddhas, there's nothing which is, they don't have preference actually. They don't need any food, they don't need any drink, they don't need any good smell, nothing. But for us to accumulate merit, we make this offering. So what kind of offerings whatever you like, that you can make that offering. If you like gold, you can put gold. If you don't have gold, in the imagination, the big gold and big jade. No. Jade. Amber, jade, whatever, So you can. So because it's according to our desire, not according to they need nothing. So in the real world, whatever you have, you can put, and you can imagine that you are making the offering. And in imagination, that the whole space is filled with beautiful flowers and gold, diamond, jade, all the precious things, and then so it's like that. So whole space is filled with these different kinds of offerings, and then you make this offering. You offer them to Guru Tsongkhapa, and then you can also think that he accepted your offerings. That is important. So if you feel in that way, actually, if you make, he accepts. When he accepts, it becomes more bigger merit. Okay? So I forgot at the beginning that when you visualize the three Tsongkhapa with two sons, it is important that the Tsongkhapa's body is very adorable, very nice, beautiful, and then he's slightly smiling, showing that he is very pleased to see you. Not like he's pleased to see you, agree with you, not like that. Really pleased to see you. You must visualize it that way. So in fact, we say that he is really pleased because this time we are practicing 7 limbs. So normally we don't practice Dhamma. They are sad. These people are not practicing Dhamma. not accumulating merit, what I can do, he is helpless. But this time you are starting to do some practice, he really feels happy. So you must visualize happy looking Guru Tsongkhapa. That is very important. You know, this is a symbolic, it's very important. And for Chinese people, I think it is easy to understand because you use many symbolic things. You put fish on the door and door stands, and good luck, and this good luck, that good luck. You know, there's one this man. We have this toy. Huh?
Money God.
Money God.
The power.
Lucky necklace, gold here, and then, you know. So there's a symbolic. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. The symbolic makes a lot of, because we believe in dependent origination, right? So dependent origin, if you think this is good, auspicious, lucky, lucky and auspicious may follow. Hope so. Okay? So, in many ways, it is all that symbolic imagination. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. But for the Westerners, it doesn't make much sense. The symbolic, it doesn't make. So if you don't feel in that way, so it doesn't work. If you feel in that way, it might work, and it will work. So this is imagination. You make the offerings. So that is now that is making offerings. The prostration, first limb, and the second limb is making offering. Okay, second. Now the third one is all the negativities I have committed with body, speech, and mind accumulated from beginningless time, and especially all transgressions of the 3 sets of vows. I confess each one with strong regret from the depth of my heart. So that is purification. So so here we have to discuss about the 4 forces. So there is no doubt that we have accumulated negativities right from the beginning, from the beginningless time. There's no doubt. We have done that. So we must get rid of them. How to get rid of them? That is the only way, is the purification. So how to purify ourselves? And then it is said in Dhamma that if you purify any kinds of negativity, negative action, with 4 forces, then it will be purified absolutely, totally, perfectly. There will be no kind of effect. There will be no kind of effect left. So absolutely can be purified. That has to be with the 4 forces, right? So what are the 4 forces we have discussed earlier? That I remember we have discussed. There might be new ones, but the old ones you remember, the 4 forces, 4 powers. Huh? Jimmy, remember? Yeah? Okay. And Benny, remember?
Regrets.
You remember?
Yes.
Oh, great. So there is then I don't touch much, right? So the first power is the power of relying upon. The power relying upon, force of relying upon, that is taking refuge in three jewels and generating bodhichitta. Other mind generating for Hinayana, no need of bodhichitta. But as far as we are concerned, Mahayana, we need bodhichitta. The real bodhichitta, it takes time to generate also. But we should have, as we discussed over the past few days, artificial bodhicitta. At least we must have that kind of feeling of bodhicitta. And taking refuge in three jewels, that we must have, that we all have, right? We are suffering, we are in samsara. Please help me to get out of this. Who can help us? Only three jewels can help us. So I take refuge in three jewels. Please help us to get out of samsara. Myself and all other beings, right? And then, as he was saying, that one most important thing is feeling of regret. What you have done? I did the wrong thing. That was wrong. I made a big, huge mistake. I made this mistake. So now you feel regret because since I have made this mistake, I will have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it because it is a huge debt. How I can pay? It will be very difficult to. So you will have to suffer. You realize that, and then you get the fear, and then you feel regret. This is one of the most important power among the four powers. If you have regret, the power of feeling of regret, then all other powers will follow automatically. There will be no problem. But we don't have this feeling of regret. Do we? Very difficult. We might have done something wrong, or we might have killed somebody in the past. In this life I'm talking. The past life we don't remember what we did. But this life you must remember. You might have killed fish to eat, or you must have killed lobster to eat. That is wrong. You made a big mistake. But that time you didn't know this is a bad action, right? So now you know this is what you have done wrong. So I did a big, huge mistake. That kind of feeling you should have. So if you realize that you made a mistake, huge mistake, if you realize that, then you will never get into that again in the future, for sure. So that's a big relief for you. So if you have the regret feeling, then it is very easy to control negative actions. If you don't have regret feeling, then you will do it again and again and again. You don't care. Then there's no way. So feeling of regret, very important. We must produce that. So for that we must think more about the karmic system. So if you don't have the faith, belief in karmic system, then to get feeling of regret is very difficult, isn't it? So feeling of regret, then making a pledge not to do it again. So if you really have the regret feeling, then this not doing in the future is not very difficult. It's very easy. You will never do that because you know. And also, it is very important that the small actions can give you big result. You know that the story of Chakra Samrat, who ruled not only this world, all the 4 continents. When you make mandala offering, you talk about 4 continents. Shat Lupapo, Ton Zambuni, No Palanche, Chang Damini. In the east, there's another continent. In the south is our world. Look, in the west is a different continent, in the north a different continent, right? So he ruled for the 4 continents. Not only that, then he further went up to the heaven, and he went to the second desired realm of heaven, the desired realm of heaven. And there he sat with the heavenly king, and he ruled that realm also. So, what was the karma to become that powerful Chakra Samrat? Chakra Samrat means big emperor, is Samrat in Sanskrit, right? The Chakra Samrat, Chakra is will. So that this big emperor, they have a will. That when they send that will, the people don't have to fight. The will fight with the enemy and destroy all the enemies very easily. That is the karma. So what was the karma, you know? The story? You don't know? Okay. Now karma, there's one small boy during the previous Buddha, not Buddha Shakyamuni's time, during the previous Buddha or previous Buddha. The Buddha with the disciples, they go for begging, food. So Buddha was going maybe noon time for begging. And then this young little boy saw Buddha. When he saw Buddha, he felt so happy. Because Buddha's, as we discussed, Buddha's body is like that. If we see Buddha's body, you can feel the joy. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so, he saw, of course, the little boy saw the Buddha, and he felt so happy. And he wanted to make an offering. Because Buddha was with a begging bowl. He couldn't make, and the boy got nothing to offer. And then he saw there was maybe the baby's house, outside the house, there's pea, green peas. So he took a handful of green peas out of that heap of green peas. And then he wanted to offer. But Buddha was so big, he was a little child, so he couldn't reach to the begging bowl. So he threw up, right? The handful, you heard that story? No. Threw up the peas, handful of peas. And then four peas get into the begging bowl, and one piece was set on the edge of the begging bowl. So altogether 5. So that was his karma. So 4 peas get into the ball, so he could rule the 4 continents. And the 5th one that set on the edge of the begging bowl, that was karma. He enjoyed the heavenly Huh?
Rules.
Heavenly,
Rules.
no, heavenly enjoyment. Okay? He enjoyed the heavenly, all the comforts and what luxuries. So that was karma. So little karma can be big, huge results. That is an example. The bad karma is also like that. Small bad karma, we think that's, we lie, we deceive people. We think it's okay. It's okay. I have no choice. You have so many excuses to do the bad actions. We have so many excuses to do the bad actions, right? Good is also like that, bad is also like that. So the example is given that if you, that is internal karmic system. Our external karmic system, if we look at them, and then if you put a little seed, that will give you a big tree, huge tree. The seed will be this big, but the tree will be very big, and that will give you hundreds of fruits. And that is also not for one time. Every year you will get the fruits for many years. So that is cause and effect system, how it works. The cause is very small, but it gives big result. But in our inner case, it's even bigger. Even bigger. So that is, what do you call that? Why I was telling you this? Oh, the feeling of regret, that we need that because the little action can give you big result, right? Okay. So there's a regret, feeling of regret, and feeling of regret, and that making commitment not do it again. And then antidote, power of antidote. The power of antidote is any kind of meditation, Dharma meditation, that can go as a power, antidote power, because that will help you purify. Recitation of mantras, meditation of emptiness. The best thing is meditation on emptiness and meditation on bodhichitta. These are the best, most powerful. Otherwise, also recitation of any mantra, that is also antidote power. And then among the recitation of mantra, 100 syllables mantra, reciting 100 syllables mantra is considered very powerful to purify. That is the main mantra to purify. But among them, meditation on emptiness and meditation on bodhichitta is the most powerful antidote power to purify. Okay? Understand?